All right. Hi, bookworms. I'm Kate.
And I'm Jess.
And this is Books, Brews, and Banter. If you're new here, hi.
Hello.
We love to talk about all things books-ish. And on today's episode, we're going to be trying to do the impossible and talk about the Throne of Glass series that you probably have heard Jess rave about in some of our previous episodes.
Always and forever.
But we're going to break it down a few books at a time, which is why it's probably the impossible task. Today, we're going to try and cover 3 of the Throne of Glass books, the first 3, which are The Assassin's Blade, Throne of Glass, and Crown of Midnight. So buckle up if you have a lot of feelings and zero chill, which is what Jess would just probably describe herself as when coming into this series.
You're not wrong.
Throne of Glass is a big project to tackle with a podcast. I'm sure you've heard a lot about it, probably on Book Talk, Instagram, all of the things.
Everywhere.
Which is one of the reasons why I wanted to dive into it. We fell in love with it. I fell in love with it last year because Jess fell in love with it first and pushed it on me relentlessly.
Listen, if I'm traumatized by a book, you're going to be traumatized by a book.
Emotional damage bonding.
We love trauma bonding over
yes,
books.
we do. And this is honestly a good series to do it with. If you've never read a Sarah J. Maas book, you are in for a treat in the best way. She's such a great writer. Everyone raves about her for good reason. She's actually a really talented writer. So
Absolutely.
here we go, jumping in.
All right. So the plot summary, we're going to break this down like book by book. We're going over all 3, but we'll break it down book by book. So The Assassin's Blade, the summary is basically following Selena before the main series. Her life as she's actually working as the assassin.
Yep.
She's running jobs for the Assassin's Guild, who the lead guy of that, by the way, like, most manipulative man ever in fiction that I've read thus far.
Arabin, we're coming after you.
Get him.
Be prepared.
Get him, Caitlin. She's actually an assassin.
Yeah. You have no idea. Anyway.
In this one also, we finally meet and kind of understand Sam Cortland better. We fall in love with him. We shouldn't because it'll break your heart. But if you have not, like if you read this one after you read the Targ series, it'll break your heart more. Highly recommend. Instead of reading it before. You'll have a better understanding of Targ if you read it before. Don't do it.
So timeline-wise, Assassin's Blade is technically the first book. It's a prequel. So it's like Jess said, it's Selena Sardathian's story before Throne of Glass actually starts. So Throne of Glass, the title of the book, is the title book series beginner. But Sarah J. Maas actually recommends reading Assassin's Blade third. And Jess and I both read Assassin's Blade last. And so what I will say personally is that I do agree with her recommendation of reading it third, only because it gives you some much needed context for the rest of the series. Obviously, read wherever you want to. However, I would say it's helpful character and plot wise to read it third or first, but you'll probably get the most emotional damage effect if you read it third.
I completely agree with that. And let's be real, when we're reading these types of books, we're reading it for the emotional damage.
Heck yes. Take me on a wild ride.
In my opinion.
What's the point in reading if it's not a wild ride?
Exactly. If I'm happy at the end, ugh.
It's the worst.
So we're going to do a general character breakdown of some of the main characters in each book as well. So for this one, obviously Selena.
Selena Sardathian.
We love her. She is 18 years old. She is the world-class assassin. She has impeccable taste in absolutely everything. And like, let's just be real. The trauma she has already gone through by 18 with the resilience that she has, love to see it.
Yeah.
I mean,
honestly,
not the trauma,
it's honestly impressive. Like when you start learning her backstory, I guess I should say that as kind of like almost a spoiler warning, but not a spoiler warning. But she goes through it like and a lot by the time like she's 18, like you said. And the fact that she is so, what's the word? Resilient through it is incredible. But my personal opinion is that she uses the best one-liners in sarcasm to kind of deflect from her trauma for the longest time. But it makes her so entertaining as a character to read about. Like you want to know more because you love her that much.
Oh, absolutely. I completely agree with that.
And then we have Sam Cortland. If you haven't already heard about him, you're hearing about him now. He is also a fellow assassin. He is her best friend, kind of. In the beginning of Assassin's Blade, it's questionable on Selena's side of things. You learn more.
I think she actually acts like she hates him.
She acts
in the
like
beginning. But
she's like
gets better.
so angry that he's there with her at Skulls Bay, and you're like, what's going on?
But at the same
here?
time, who else would you want?
Who else would you want there? Exactly. And so if you can't tell, they're like best friends turned lovers towards the end, and it's the most beautiful thing to watch on the page. And I think Jess put on here the relationship build is so good because it's slow and earned. And it's so true.
Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong at all. But yeah, so I would say Sam Cortland is like probably the picture perfect best friend to lovers written that I've seen on the page in a long time. Best friends to lovers is my favorite trope. And so this personally broke my heart. I bawled when I read his death scene and I knew it was coming. Oh, by the way, spoiler warning for the first 3 books of the series. So if you have not read Assassin's Blade, Throne of Glass, and Crown of Midnight, there will be spoilers. Not sorry. However, if you've read past Crown of Midnight, we won't be talking about those books yet, so you're safe. However, just be forewarned.
And we will say every spoiler possible, more than likely, because
Probably.
that's who we are.
It just tends to slip. You never know.
Yeah,
So just be on guard.
Probably, I mean, you can listen to it if you're the type that's going to listen, and then like that makes you want to read more. Because I know I'm like that with like TV shows. So like if that's the case for you, absolutely keep listening. If that's not the case for you, grab the book, get your little Kindle, get your book out, highlight, read, yay, cry, tissues, the whole shebang, and then come back.
And then come back. Exactly.
As long as you come back.
As long as you come back. And next is Arabin Hamill. We love to hate him. He is actually no, I hate to hate him. He's pretty terrible.
I was like, we love to hate him.
No, I absolutely hate to hate him.
Yes.
Arabin Hamill is Selena's mentor as well as her captor, and he's the man who raised her and uses love as a weapon and calls it care. That's exactly what Jess put, and I cannot agree more. The reason I hate Arabin so much is that he's kind of displayed as this fake savior, and he uses that against Selena to say like, I built you, you owe me, all these types of things against her, and that's kind of what builds this false idea of relationship with her as well.
But also, I feel like especially in Assassin's Blade, what makes him even creepier is that at some points you don't know if he's treating her as a daughter or a lover.
Yeah, and it's creepy.
Like, okay, sir, you rescued her from the icy river when she was a child. You were a full-grown man.
Full-grown
at that
adult.
time. You have raised her, and now you're like, ooh, maybe a side piece. Excuse
me? Right.
Back the truck up, sir.
Gosh, it's disgusting and beyond words, honestly.
I have a lot of issues with that.
He's just like, I have a lot of words, actually. Let me get right to it. Not okay.
Not at all. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and he's one of those characters. I can't remember if I wrote it here or in our next page over for the next 2 books, but he's one of those characters that he's not the big bad, but you literally loathe him almost more than the big bad in the series.
Oh, yeah.
And so wherever his character arc goes in the series, I won't give you spoilers for that, but it's almost more satisfying because you've watched how terrible of a human being he is.
Quiet loathes.
Yeah, he's like this quiet
Those are the
darkness
sneaky
in the
ones.
background, right? And Selena has her own questions about what happened between her and Sam and his death and all these things. And so the way that it's like drug out almost into a specific book is almost what makes it so satisfying.
Yeah.
Because he's that terrible of a character.
Oh, absolutely.
Anyway, but
So next we have added in an emotional
emotional
damage scale.
Okay, I'm so excited about this, but I'll let you explain.
So basically it's going to be a rating of 1 to 10, and it's how emotionally damaged you are while you're reading this book and after you read this book. Like, did you maybe have a couple sniffles? Did you need a whole tissue box?
Right.
Or a couple tissue
Did
boxes?
you spend days thinking about this and you just can't get over it? Or was it like, oh, it's all right, I'm going to move on now? Right.
Yeah, like, is this something that will stick in your mind forever? Because it's sticking in my mind forever. So my rating for this, and Caitlin might have the same rating. She might not. She'll speak. But mine was a 9 out of 10 because I was not prepared for the heartbreak. I should have been. I knew what was coming to an extent.
Yeah.
Like I knew how the book ended and everything, and I knew that Sam would break my heart.
Yep.
But he broke it more than I thought, and it was just a little rude. But it's okay.
It's just a little bit emotionally damaging.
For real though, like a 9 out of 10.
No, I totally agree with the 9 out of 10. The reason is because, like you said, like, you know what's going to happen. You know it's coming, but the detail that she goes into was almost unnecessary.
Give me all the nitty
Give
gritty
me
details.
all the nitty details. And I'll get to some of my favorite quotes later to talk about it a little bit more, because one of the new structure things we're going to be doing is talking about our favorite quotes, which I'm super excited about as well. But just this idea that you get a little bit of a glimpse of Celaena pre Throne of Glass, and you wouldn't think that'd be so important if not for all of this trauma she's gone through. Absolutely. And this is like one of the breaking points of, like, the end of the book is like one of the breaking points for her. There's multiple throughout the series, but this really like kicks it off.
Oh, absolutely. Right? I feel like it reframes everything you thought about, or like you thought you knew going into Throne of Glass. It's actually cruel how well it works.
Sarah J. Maas, you're a genius. Why do you do this to us?
And the fact that you don't write anything down and it's all in your head.
I know. If you haven't seen her Call Her Daddy interview, watch it, because the way that she
never
casually is like,
that.
I don't know, it's just in my head. And I was like, what? Literally, my brain was like, I can't even keep straight like children's meals, let alone like an entire Masterverse that interconnects. Yeah. What?
Insane.
My jaw was on the floor.
Absolutely. I never thought I'd hear you say, I need you to watch Call Her Daddy. But
I know. I'm not.
And I don't mean the podcast. I just mean the statement. But I'm here for it.
Jess is like, I never thought I'd see the day.
We love it.
Here we are.
We love it. We love it. Do you have anything else you want to talk about with that, or shall we introduce them?
I will
to
just have one more note for the emotional damage scale. I do think it's funny because it's a prequel, and it's funny because, again, you wouldn't expect a prequel to be that emotionally damaging. But I think that's one of the reasons why Sarah J. Maas puts it third in the reading order for her recommended reading order.
I agree.
Because, again, you get to know Celaena as a person. Who she is in Throne of Glass and then in Crown of Midnight. And then you have to go back because she has a big transformation in that second book as well. Again, if you've read Crown of Midnight, I'm going to talk about it. You know, Nehemia dies, and that's her first real friend. And when you read Assassin's Blade, you realize why she doesn't have a lot of friends in the first place is because the one person she thought was her friend, which was the girl from the desert. What's her name?
Ansel.
Yes, Ansel. And she completely breaks her trust, right? And so she's like learning that like friendships are okay, they're good, and then this person she loves dies. Right after someone else that she loves, Sam, dies. And so the way that all interconnects to who she is as a character,
it's insane.
It's insane. And then that sets off this catalyst for the rest of the series of this lack of trust, this keeping things close to the chest, even though she lets herself feel for other people.
But she doesn't let them in.
She doesn't let them
She doesn't let them in her plan. She doesn't let them like truly in her life.
And I really do think if you don't read Assassin's Blade before that point, it doesn't make a lot of sense because, again, we didn't. And I would get really frustrated with her as a character. I'm like, girl, just let them in. They can help you. But it makes more sense understanding from this perspective of like, oh, the one time she let somebody in on her plans, the one time, because she didn't even tell Sam in that first story in Assassin's Blade about Skull's Blade about what she was going to do. He just went along with it when he caught on. But then he dies because he doesn't let her into those plans, and she chooses to trust him.
And so now she's like, anyone that I let in is going to die.
And then it happens again with Nehemia and Chaol.
Every time she keeps
right. And so it really makes more sense for her character. And so I would just say on an emotional damage scale, I 10 out of 10 agree with the 9 because it's not a 10 out of 10 like you're going to see later on in Kingdom of Ash. We're not there yet, and I'm not ready for it. But I will say that it definitely is a 9 out of 10 because you get an understanding as to like, okay, this is why she chooses to be self-sufficient, and she's good at it. So there's no reason why she can't be.
Absolutely.
It's just sad to see that that's why. And it's understandable. I would probably be the same way. Like you felt like you caused somebody else's death.
Oh, absolutely.
Someone you loved, somebody you thought saw a future with. Like,
absolutely.
So anyway, I just wanted to add that I understand from it's very, very understandable for her character development where she goes. So.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that. I feel like I already I just sensed it in the background because of my background.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
in hearing her talk, I was like, you've been hurt before. Like,
Yeah.
at a deep, deep level.
Yeah.
And so then, like, understanding that portion and really getting into her mind, because I feel like we get into her mind all the time, but at the same time, there's still a wall,
There's a wall
of
there.
us hearing her mindset and hearing everything in
Yeah.
the books. Whereas this one's just a full, like, look into the world of your mind. Danger.
Yeah.
Like,
Danger.
but I really appreciated that.
Yeah, I did too.
So
Our next section.
another thing we have added, hope you love it as much as we
we
do, is a date them, send them to therapy, or call 911.
Immediately.
So first and foremost, let's be real. Sam Cortland, date him immediately.
The second he said he had feelings for her, I was like, girl,
Go for him.
jump on it.
Yes. Get on that. Like, hello, sir.
Yes, I agree. Date him immediately. No other option.
He's the only healthy
He
one.
really is the only healthy one in the series, and that's what's hilarious is that like he doesn't have as much of a history yet because he's so young. They're both so
Yes.
young during their love story, so he has some
That's what
background.
makes it so special.
Yeah, but they have this really healthy dynamic, and I loved that. And then that's why it was almost more of a okay. The knife is already in the gut. I'm gonna twist it a little bit because it's like the
100%.
one healthy option, but you can't have him. Sorry. Thanks, Sarah.
Feels all over again just talking about it.
I know. Anyway, next is Arabin Hamill. If you can't guess my answer for this one, then I don't really know what to tell you. But call 911 and a therapist is what Jess put, and I can't agree more. Can't
Yes.
agree more.
The manipulation's just so subtle.
I
You
know.
almost miss it.
Mhm.
And then as you go on, you're like, that was the whole thing.
Yep.
Like, that's just who
That
he is.
last
That's all
page,
he does.
that last page of Assassin's Blade, it
Ugh.
really is like you are a filthy human
Yes.
being because you can tell from the whole story that this is obviously a setup.
Yes.
And you know later because you already read Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight as you should, you know what happens, and she's already doubting what happened there, so you know that he's involved somehow. But that last page where he's like, "I don't like to share what's mine," I wanted to slam the book.
Oh my gosh. Right? And just listening
But I was
to him
reading on
say
my
that-
Kindle, so I couldn't throw it.
Amen. So many times. Just
So many
slam
times.
the book cover.
Maybe
like the
that's
cover
why
on
like I got the
Kindle.
case where you could slam the top part. It's the closer.
I've done that before. She gifted me one that she stunningly drew on it. Yes, I'm
Aw, thank
giving
you.
you a shout out in this. Don't mind me. And
I can be creative
It's-
sometimes.
she says she underplays her creativity all the time.
Kindness.
But
Love
anyways,
it. Mm-hmm.
we'll show you the Kindles eventually, the covers, I'm sure. And you'll be on my side. But like
Low-key.
ever since that, I'll randomly, like not randomly, but sometimes in a book where I'm just like, I can't do this.
Mm-hmm.
I just shut it like that. And it's just satisfying. It's so satisfying.
I'm going to be asking you questions later then about if you did that with a certain book.
Oh no.
Not in a bad way, but purely out of curiosity.
Oh, okay. I don't know which one she's talking about.
That's all right.
So then in this book, so I'm gonna add to Lena actually as well.
Yeah.
And for this one book, I would say date her.
Yeah.
Because she hasn't experienced all the trauma yet. Like she hasn't been so set in her ways, her heart's hardened and everything. Like if you had gotten to her now,
Yeah.
it
You
could have
would
been
be
beautiful,
okay.
like Sam did.
Which is why her and Sam were in a good place here. Yeah,
Yeah.
because she hadn't gotten to Endovir yet. She hadn't lost Nehemia yet. And there's more that happens later in the series. And so, but yeah, after she hits Nehemia, it's like her heart really is hardened and cold. And it takes an entire book
Yes.
later to
Absolutely.
start the undoing of that. So,
Absolutely.
but yeah, we are. I like how she put in her notes in here. We are supporting her, not analyzing her. Okay, I like to analyze characters. It's fine.
We both do.
It's true.
We
Amen.
can analyze characters. We can analyze our lives, our minds.
That's why we're
everything.
here.
Oh my gosh.
I love it. All right. And the next section is one that I'm super excited about because I'm a big quotes girl. I know Jess is too. And so
100%.
we wanted to add a section about our favorite quotes from the series as an opportunity to talk about what they really mean to us. At least that's part of what I put on here for.
Absolutely. And you should drop a comment with your favorite quote.
Mm-hmm. Let
wanna
us
hear
know
yours
your
too.
favorite quotes as well. This is specifically from Assassin's Blade, so I'll let you go first.
So one of them was just, for a moment, the world was theirs. And it was in reference to like Sam and Selena and like just that one line brings back all the feels for this book.
Yes.
Like if I actually just sat with that, I could probably tear up, and I'm not a crier.
Yeah.
But that one
it almost
line,
made me cry.
The
My
emotional
heart broke.
damage.
My heart broke. There was a point in there too, because he kind of confesses his love for her before that moment, and my heart was already a puddle. And so after that line, I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
I'm pretty sure I actually teared up at that one.
Yes. Jess is like in her corner, her cozy corner, just tearing up. It's
My
fine.
little cozy reading corner. We love it.
We love it. We all have one. Don't lie.
Absolutely. You want to hit yours, and then I'll jump back.
Yes, because I only had one for this book, but I put. This was part of, so if you haven't read Assassin's Blade, it's broken up into short stories. So this is from the short story of The Assassin in the Desert, I think it's called, the middle section of the book. And it says, most would never experience this. She would never experience anything like this again. And for that one heartbeat, when there was nothing more to it than that, she tasted bliss so complete that she tipped her head back to the sky and laughed. And I loved this. I put my notes here. Break my heart, why don't you? And I loved this because it's the one moment we get to see Celaena truly happy and free in a moment. If you read the rest of Throne of Glass, there's so many times when Celaena talks about wanting freedom. She feels so shackled, whether that's physically in Endovier or, being the assassin, the king's assassin in Crown of Midnight. Emotionally, mentally, she feels so shackled, like she doesn't have choices. And in Assassin's Blade, she even feels that way because she's working as an assassin against her will.
She's still in the guild.
Right. Yeah. She didn't want to become an assassin, but she had no choice because Erebin made her into that. And so I loved this moment because we see for just a split second the woman she wants to be. Mm-hmm. She gets to do what she does something she wants to do, even though she didn't necessarily want to steal a stallion. That's what's happening here.
I mean, who wouldn't?
Right. Like, but she's like, but her friend Ansel, this friend she didn't want to make, is encouraging her just to go along with it and enjoy it. And so she lets herself do that. And so I love this moment because you have something to compare her character to for the rest of the series. And that's kind of what broke my heart when I read it. I was like, oh, because again, I read this last. And so it really put into perspective after reading Kingdom of Ash, everything that she goes through. And this idea that like, oh, she was so happy. And to watch everything else just kind of unfold from there was like heartbreaking. Rereading this series from here was very hard for me. It's like this poor girl. She had this one little moment. Yep. Anyway, so that's why I love that quote. So
I love that. My quote is darker.
Oh, here we go.
But, so there's reason behind it though. So before I even say it, I'm going to give a little bit of background with it. I think this quote does such a good job of explaining Celaena too. And also like towards the end of the quote, we're talking about Ansel. Mm-hmm. I think Caitlin and I both say all these names differently.
And that's fine.
Like, it is what it is. Choose it with your heart.
Yeah, I was say we're readers. We don't often listen to audiobooks, but if we do, then you feel free to correct us if you're someone who knows how to say these names. But just sorry, not sorry.
Don't mind us, okay? We're just talkers.
We're just talkers.
But I feel like it does such a good job of giving that, I don't know how to even describe it, that knife, but also that like passion behind things. Yeah. Because I mean, in life too. And I love when a book can like bring something to life in your actual life as well.
Give you something to relate to.
Yes. Yeah. And give you something to just be like, man, that's actually a life lesson, not just in my book, unrealistic.
Right.
And I feel like this does a good job about that because it's so easy to let pain take over. Mm-hmm. But yeah. So anyways, here's the quote. If you can learn to endure pain, you can survive anything. Some people learn to embrace it, to love it. Some endure it through drowning it in sorrow, or by making themselves forget. Others turn it to anger. But Ansel let her pain become hate and let it consume her until she became something else entirely. A person I don't think she ever wished to be. And I just feel like
that was the moment when she was turning on her. And
exactly. Yeah. And I feel like that also gives such a better background and understanding of Ansel, like, and her motives, because you'll see in different parts, like, even though she did the actions that she did, she also didn't want to.
Right.
Like, at the depth of her soul, she did what she thought she had to, not what she thought she could do.
Yeah.
And that's really what led to it. And and I feel like she really let that pain turn into hate, whereas Selena used her pain as fire and as passion to push through and endure. And so it's just, I just love
I
that
do
quote.
wonder too, because again, this is still in Assassin's Blade. I do wonder if she thought about Ansel after what happened to Nehemia and was like, and like as she was processing through that, especially like befriending Dorian after the fact, because she didn't want a relationship with him, but did want to be around Chael, however you say his name. I said in my head Chael the whole series, so 100%. It's fine. Anyway, but I wonder if she had Ansel in the back of her mind and thinking that, because she made that observation about her, because we're in her POV that whole book. So I wonder if part of her's like, I don't want to become that person like she did. I want to become something different, right? So anyway,
that's a good point.
That's good. And now our last section is going to be why we like this book / series. And I liked this section because I think sometimes when we get into the nitty gritty of character analyzations and just talking about the books in general, we kind of lose sight overall of like big picture why we like it in the first place. And some people really hate Assassin's Blade and some people really love Assassin's Blade. So I think this is a really important section for this book specifically. But anyway, continue.
I feel like in this one, like Selena really gets her humanity back before the series asks her to give it all up.
Yeah.
If you read it properly.
Yeah.
Like, and that alone to me is worth reading the book because it, like you've said before, like it just gives so much background and reasoning to the way she is, how she is. And I don't know, like I'm the type of person that loves to analyze people.
Yes, I am too.
And know the reason behind why they act and how they got to where they are and what made them become that. And this really gives you that with Selena. And then and it kind of goes back. We've talked about this too, but like if you skipped this and went straight to Tog, go back and read it because it's definitely worth it. I would agree with that 3 book, but if you don't do it at after the third book, then at least read it at the end.
Right.
If you don't have a choice now, do not read don't read the first book and then be like, okay, let me read this before I go. No. So
you need some context because so I suggested my friend read this series recently, and she just finished Assassin's Blade and is currently reading Heir of Fire. Because Heir of Fire is technically the 3rd book, but again, if you read Assassin's Blade 3rd, then it's the 4th. But whatever. And she agreed that she felt like she actually enjoyed Assassin's Blade a lot because she felt more connected to Selena already as a character, and she sees where she goes. And so when she read halfway through again that part about Ansel that we just talked about, she was heartbroken for her because she's like, I already know that it's already so hard for you to have loved Nehemia. Now I know why.
Oh, I like.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's her first experience of ever reading Tog too. So I was excited that if she felt more connected to her as a character that way.
I could go back and read the series.
I know. That's why I was like,
about it.
But at the same time, for me, I'm one of those people too. Like I probably, even if someone would have suggested me read it 3rd, I probably wouldn't have because it was so hard after the cliffhanger of Crown of Midnight not to just go straight into Heir of Fire. Like it's so hard.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yes.
Just saying. But yeah.
Absolutely.
But go ahead, continue.
Arabin.
I will tell my opinion when you're done with yours.
Mine's pretty direct.
Yeah.
He is scarier than any monster in books because he's real.
Yeah.
Because he is, he's a book character, but he's real. Okay.
He's real in our brains.
Real in my heart and not in a good way. But we all know who he is, but at the same time, he shocks you with how bad he is.
Yes.
Every time, like you think he can't get worse. And then like that ending. Oh my gosh.
Goodness.
Like absolutely not. So I had to add a little bit of him in the end because despite him being kind of the background character, he's a loud, silent background character.
He is because he made such a huge impact on Selena. And again, I'm going to go back to my point earlier, but elaborate on a little bit more. Like it's amazing to me how much you can hate a villain who's not the biggest enemy in the series.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if you get to the end of the series, you realize, he's not the big bad. He's not. But he's terrible and you hate him.
He's my big bad.
He's my big bad. But it's almost like he's worse because of the fact he's not blatantly black and white bad boy character,
Yes.
right? He is this manipulative, you don't know where his allegiances lie. But when you read the last page of Assassin's Blade, you're like, what the heck? Because again, that line of like, I just don't like to share makes it this idea of like, oh no, Selena is property to him and he doesn't actually care for her, but he wants to keep her because she makes him money, she's cute, and then he raised her, so he thinks that she belongs to him. And it just makes you hate him so much more. Right. And
like,
so
not even in like stay in one lane, own.
Right.
I can own you however I want. You will do whatever I want.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And so there's so much like, I don't know. I hate a big bad more than like most people do, but when it comes to villains that are that manipulative, it almost makes it worse.
Oh, absolutely.
Does that make sense?
I completely agree.
So yeah, I hate him. He is terrible, and he gets what's coming to him, hopefully, eventually in the series.
I hope it's a farewell.
I hope it's a farewell.
Oh, hello.
Tractor keys? I genuinely don't remember. They might be in my rain jacket coat, but I never took them out. So Everest might have given them to me, but I don't remember taking them anywhere. Charlie. Go, Charlie.
Charlie, what are you drinking, eating, licking?
He ate the rest of my frozen berries.
Yeah.
He's fine. He just doesn't want to go.
I know he's fine. I know he's not hurting him. It's just sad to hear.
All right. And then I think I had one more note. So,
I
had one more note on that, and then we can go to Throne of Glass.
Yeah. You read that note.
I'm rereading it so I don't have to read it verbatim.
The struggle is real on that.
Okay. So my last point is just that I love this book so much because I think I said this a few times earlier, just that it gives so much good context to who Selena is as a character going into Throne of Glass. And I think, again, I mentioned this earlier, that it was frustrating to me on a first read because I hadn't read Assassin's Blade, of like, why won't you just trust people? Which is hilarious coming from me as someone who like won't trust someone unless I've known you for like years on end, which is fine. Anyway, but but from like a fantasy character perspective, you need help saving the world, like you just do. And so from her character perspective, it was really hard for me until you got later on down the road and you're like, oh, something clearly has very deeply wounded you, because she says to other characters later on down the road, like, this is very hard for me. This is hard.
Yes.
I don't know what to do. And I'm like,
Absolutely.
thank you. We finally got here. But it took us a long time. And so after reading Assassin's Blade, I'm like, okay, now I understand why I should have read this earlier in the series. Again, no matter where you read it is fine. But it gives you a better understanding of who she is as a character, and a little bit more grace, I guess you could say. Of
Yeah,
like,
I think
okay,
that's a good way of putting it. You give her more grace throughout it, because if you're not someone to read it and think through the like heartbreak, grief, like all of that in the background, which I mean most people don't think like that as they're reading something or seeing someone act out or whatever.
right.
But if you have that knowledge beforehand, this whole story is different.
Yeah, it is. You just see her differently in a different light. All right, now we're going to move on to Throne of Glass, which is technically the title series and the first book of the whole series. And again, Assassin's Blade, we started with that because chronologically it comes first. So, plot summary. Would you like to kick it off, Jess?
Always.
Always.
Also, like if you hear us say Tog, that's also the reference. I know at one point before I understood the little abbreviations as book readers do.
Yeah.
I was like, what the frick frack is Tog? And so then I looked
What
at it.
is Tog? Is it a frog but with a
that
T?
makes sense
I don't
now.
understand.
Yeah. I was like, what do you mean Tog? Why are we doing that?
Right?
But now I always do.
understand.
It is what it is. So in Throne of Glass, Selena is taken, which you kind of see in the last book if you read Assassin's Blade first, but she's taken to the death camp. So in this book, though, she is pulled out of the death camp in Dovier. That's what you want to call it.
Endovier.
Endovier is what it is.
The salt mines.
Yes, by Prince Dorian to compete in a competition for the king. If you win the tournament, you become the king's champion. We think that sounds good.
It sounds like a
let's
good deal,
keep
right?
in mind she's an assassin.
Yep. So what could he want with her?
Exactly. But like one way of I'm going to read this verbatim because I just enjoyed how it came across. Like this book is literally 2 love interests, a magical murder mystery, a ghost queen, and an evil king who took magic away entirely.
Yeah.
Like when you read it like that, like when you say it like that, it just does something to you.
It does. It's more intriguing that way, but that's exactly what it is. That's so good.
Thank you.
If any of that sounds interesting, this is the book for you. Advertisement. Here you go.
Free advertisement, Sarah J. Maas. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
But yeah, so throughout that book, you're going through the competition. There's 23 people that are competitors, and they're dying in extremely absurd ways. Whether that be in the competition or outside of the competition.
That's the question.
Yes, or both.
Or both.
But it's really cool to just see how everything builds off of each other in this one. And there are such plot twists. I feel like each book is an entire series in of itself.
It
with
is.
how much you get. And just if you have a moment, all I can say is if you have a moment in this book or any of her books of like, oh, this is a lot, I'm a little bit done with it. No, you're not done.
No, you're not.
You're not that. You push through that.
You
push
push
through that
through
and
it.
you read it. Okay, we don't stop.
But what I will say too is that I have had some people who read Tog after they read ACOTAR. And let me just say, it is not the same.
No.
And the reason is because this series, Sarah J. Maas actually wrote before she wrote ACOTAR. And so she took her time slowly building the world. And so I would say it is a slow start magically, but she builds so much foundation that you don't even realize you're picking up on more than you are until you get into the rest of the series. You're like, oh, yeah, I know what that is. Oh, that's how that relates to that.
Yeah.
Like you don't realize, and I didn't realize till I'm doing my reread. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much here in book 1.
Exactly.
And so just know that if it feels slow, that's intentional because it gets super complicated later on.
you need that
You
good
need that
foundation.
slow foundation.
And if you try to just like jump to the next book or read it quickly but not take it in, like you will be confused later.
You will be.
It is
yes.
worth it.
The way that the world expands and then as you also get more characters later on, that it just becomes too confusing if you skip anything. So our recommendation would be follow J. Maas's recommendation in terms of reading order, but also just take your time and enjoy the ride because there's a reason why she wrote it the way that she did. Just trust us.
Absolutely. I completely agree.
And then general main character breakdown. Of course, we have Celaena Sardothien. We just talked about her from Assassin's Blade. She just came from Endovier. She did a literal year in slavery in Endovier, the salt mines. That's where they take their prisoners and they serve for however long their sentences as slaves to get all the salt from the salt mines. So that's where she was. And she shows up just put to stun in a gorgeous dress and outsmarts everyone in the room, which I mean that's just Celaena to a T. If you don't know her as a character, there is a good example. But Jess made some really good notes here, so I'll actually have her read a little bit more about Celaena as a character.
Sure thing, Caitlin. So one of the things is that her vanity is actually her armor. Like it's the classic thing that you see in the movies, that you see on a TV show, in books, whatever. She uses her vanity, her pretty dresses, her smile, her, yeah, I know that dance, to actually like loosen your guard. And then you're like, oh, she can take me out with a pencil.
That's good.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I want to be her.
Right.
But I just appreciate that. As weird as that sounds.
No, I do too.
Because there are parts of herself with that it's not just a mask. Like she actually enjoys these things. These are actually the things that she's like, no, like this is a part of me. Like I know what I want. I know what I like, and I'm going to do it. And I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
And so it's not just vanity. It's not just a cover. It's not just a mask. It's truly who she is, and not in a negative way.
Yeah.
We all have some bougie things, okay? Like it depends on what you prioritize.
Jess is like,
is
I
it?
appreciate pretty things too. Thank you.
Both of the human
I will
variety
say
and
that
items.
Selena / Aelin, because we've all read Crown of Midnight, right? Cool. As a character, what I appreciate about her, the way Sarah J. Maas wrote her, is that she is a BA, and yet she likes to wear dresses. Like, I love that she didn't strip her of her femininity at all. Like, I loved reading Throne of Glass and like, oh, she's excited to wear a pretty dress. She's excited to dance with a cute prince. Like, I love that she let her keep her like femininity in that, because I think in sometimes in romantasy, not always, we can all sometimes find those FMCs who are like, oh, I have to wear a dress. Oh, I have to do this. I'm like, excuse me, I like wearing dresses and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, can I have a character who like enjoys those things? And so that was really refreshing to me reading her. Like, she can like these things and still be an assassin.
Exactly. Like, I don't have to wear a pretty dress every single day, but if I get the chance to go to a ball, a gala, and dress up, you better believe it. And that just shows in her, and I love that.
It's almost too, when I see your Assassin's Blade, you realize, oh, this is also kind of like the one thing she can control. Like, I like pretty things, so I'm going to use my blood money and buy them, and I'm going to wear them, and I'm going to enjoy them. And so, yeah.
Absolutely.
Anyway. And then, of course, Prince Dorian. I'm not going to lie. Dorian's one of my favorite characters in the whole series. You can hate on me if you want to. That's fine. But I loved him. And one of the reasons why is because, he's supposed to be this charming. And he's very young and naive in this first book. Okay, I get it. But his character arc is one of my favorites in the whole series. I'll be honest.
I agree with that statement.
But he's so charming, and he reads books, and he's sweet. And I just love his flirty interactions with Selena. They're truly so fun.
The good, charming prince.
Yeah.
That is in love or wants the dangerous girl.
Like,
it's a classic.
It's a classic for a reason.
Yes. She took the words literally out of my mouth if you had seen that.
I'm a classicist. I love it. It's my favorite. So yeah, he's one of my favorites for sure. But he's sweet, like you said, and but he also plays a certain role in Selena's story. Like, you think that's where her storyline's gonna go. And in a way, you kind of expect it to later on in the series, but
absolutely
not where it ends up going. But it's fun. So I like him as a character for that reason. He may be classic, but classics are the classics for a reason.
Exactly. And one thing I will say about him in this book too is, like, it's funny, the attraction to them, and you always hear like opposites attract. No, like, they are opposites.
Yeah,
there's
they are.
a whole freaking canyon.
Yes.
In between them, especially like not even just the prince to a poor girl, but like you don't really know that he's gone through anything. He doesn't seem like he's gone through anything.
Really. Yeah.
And especially compared to her, who has seen things, done things,
lost her whole family.
Through it.
Yeah.
Tried to escape,
been a slave, lost her first love.
Slavery.
Yeah.
Like, are you
And she's
kidding
technically a year younger than him too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just proves that age is but a number. Maturity is what counts.
It is. And I think I'll touch on that note too a little bit later with one of my quotes between a conversation between them. So anyway, continue.
We love it. And then we also get to Prince Dorian's bestie, who also happens to be the captain of the guard, or the guard captain, however you want to call it.
Captain of the guard, all the same. Yeah. All the same.
Kale Westfall.
Chael, you know.
Chael.
I literally called him Chael the whole series in my head.
I think
it's kale. I get it, like the vegetable, but
I never connected the vegetable.
That's the only thing I heard when I heard someone say his name is Kale. I was like the vegetable.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Literally never thought about that at all.
Anyway, but continue.
But he is the stoic captain who is literally fighting for his life of his feelings.
Yes, he is.
Entire book, and man, is he losing.
As you see in next book.
100%. Like, his whole thing is loyalty. It's duty. It's, I'm going to be there. I'm going to do my best. I can't have distractions. Cool. Great. Nope.
LOL.
Isn't it the things we hold on to the most that we end up losing? Because that was him.
That was him. To a T.
Sure.
Yep. Yeah. And I think with Kale, I didn't like him at first because, again, I really liked the classic, like, Prince falls in love with, you know. But you can tell there's real chemistry between Kale and Selena from the get-go. They get each other, right.
Like, he's seen things, he's done things, he's been through things, he's had to, hurt people.
Yeah,
like,
he gets
just have that different level of understanding.
Mm-hmm. And I even put, when I was reading through... rereading through book one, there was a note I put when they're having a conversation or joking about something. I was like, oh, there's like something here. They can relate to each other really well. And I was like, dang it. And that's the point I knew. I was like, dang it, that they're going to end up together at some point.
Yeah. Like, he gets in the trenches with her, whereas like Dorian's waiting at home for you to get back.
Exactly.
Like, that's the only way I can think of put it.
Yeah. He's like the stay-at-home house husband. And Kale's like, no, I'm going to fight with you.
Yeah. You need backup on my way.
I got you. Right.
Dorian might try at this point,
Yeah, he's not there yet.
No, not yet.
not there
He's
yet.
got to go through some things. So for
He's
the
gotta
next
get through
character,
some things.
it's your favorite, so like you have to read her.
Yes, I love Nehemia. I don't know how to say her last name, so don't yell at me, but Yetker, I don't know. But Nehemia, she's from Elway. She's a foreign princess, and she plays her public role perfectly, which is what Jess wrote and nails it on the head. But her friendship between Selena and her is probably my favorite part of the whole book. And the reason is because if you read Assassin's Blade first, or if you read it last, you understand that Selena doesn't trust well at all, but she also doesn't get close to people very easily. And so to see this like friendship butt up naturally and organically between them was surprising to Selena as it was to Nehemia, because Nehemia is keeping some things from her, as you learn in book 2. But I think it's kind of sad because you already know it's coming, which is what you said, but you're choosing not to think about it right now because Nehemia has already decided upon meeting Selena that she's going to make her basically her life be a catalyst so Selena can become the person she needs to be, which is Aelin. And the way that it broke my heart reading it on a second time around, because you pick up on so much more in the things that she says that were like a little bit mysterious on your first read, but in your second read, you're like, oh my gosh, she's basically telling her without telling her. What the frick?
Yep. Like she showed up giving her life, and you had no idea. You
had no idea.
She's just supporting her. She's fine.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
And then the reality is, like, in the back of her head, she knew if she had to, her life's gone for her to be able to become the person she was going to be.
Yeah. And that's just, again, we're going to get into the emotional damage scale here in a second, but that's just emotional damage on a whole nother level of like, you're a genuine friend, but you're also kind of using her to become who she needs to be. And it's like a good thing, but it's also like a gut wrench. And I'll talk about that more next book when we go over that in Crown of Midnight here in a minute. But it's like a whole nother level of betrayal.
It is. I feel like the reread of this is a whole nother level of emotional damage.
It is.
Like, you have it the first time, and you think once you finish it, you're like, man, I wish I could go back and read it not knowing anything.
Right.
But then you go back and read it knowing, and you're like,
It's almost like worse, but better at the same time.
I had the tissues prepared, but I need another box. You know, like,
it's not longer 3 a.m., it's 4 a.m. because I can't stop crying.
Work is hard the next day.
Yes, it is. Oh, man.
So for the emotional damage scale this time, it might shock you, my rating. And I don't know if Caitlin's is different or not. We'll see.
We'll talk about it.
But mine is actually only a 6 out of 10. And there's reason behind it. It's because it's emotionally tense, but the real damage is delayed. Yeah. Like, yes, you're feeling things. It's like somebody, you can feel it building. Like, you can feel someone watching you and waiting and lurking. But the dread is here, but the damage is not yet.
Yeah.
So that's why it's actually a little bit looser or lower than what you might think, because yes, there's so much emotional damage in this series, but this book in particular is a build up to the damage in my book. It is.
I agree. I would actually put mine at a 5 out of 10 instead of a 6 out of 10. I know.
I expected you to be higher. So that's fabulous.
The thing with Throne of Glass is it felt Throne of Glass as in the title book. It feels very much like a classic fairy tale with a twist. Does that make sense? And so it wasn't.
I agree with that.
There were definitely some darker, eerier parts of that. Like it's definitely like a young adult kind of fiction, which is the grade that it is. But I didn't feel like, for example, you don't have the context yet usually of Assassin's Blade unless you read it first. And even then you probably weren't as connected to Selena as you are at the end of the end of Throne of Glass. And so I didn't give it too high an emotional damage rating because you do feel for her in that last scene in her fight with Cain. You do feel this tug and pull of like, like there's something more here. And there's a lot of deep traumatic stuff coming up for her. And there's even some quotes where she's like, she can hear hoofbeats in the background. That's clearly like a memory coming up that she's suppressing. But it's not, you wouldn't understand it yet. Right. So like, I would say there's some emotional damage, which is why I give it a 5, but it's not enough because you don't understand it yet as the reader.
Yep.
So it's like a half and half for me. But like, is it there? Yes. But you don't really get a lot of context for it yet. And I put a note on here that said, when you talked about it being like the tournament deaths are creepy, but the emotional gut punch is actually just like watching her exist in a cage? And I said, yes. Seeing how she has like freedom, but the word is held so loosely. So like she just
Absolutely.
came out of being a slave. So this is supposed to feel like freedom, but she still feels more of like
It's
caged
just a
to another
different slavery.
person, another form.
Absolutely.
So I would say there's some emotional damage there that you clearly can see the background of from a reader's perspective, but it's like a bird's eye view.
Absolutely.
So it's
I
a
agree
5
with
for
that.
me.
And then on top of that, like I feel like a lot of times, and not all the time, but a lot of times part of your gut wrench is when it comes to like a romantic relationship or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Like the gut wrench in this is her friendship with Naomi.
yeah, exactly.
Like
Mhm.
100%.
Yeah, I agree. So
All right.
date them or call 911 or a therapist.
Good old Dorian.
Dorian.
Green light. Date him.
Green light.
Date him.
He's definitely like the
Recognize-
first boyfriend of like kind of testing out dating for the first time. Green light. Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
Like he needs a few years to
To
be
mature.
an adult.
Yeah.
But who doesn't at 19?
right.
So date him.
I know.
Absolutely.
There are so many people I've heard talk about this series who are like, yeah, but he has so many red flags. I'm like, he's 19. Like,
What
give him some
19-year-old
flack.
guy doesn't?
Right.
Or girl.
It's more understandable to give the flack to Kale because he's supposed to be in his 20s. Like, there's a more understanding for that. He should know better. But when it comes to Dorian, I'm like, he's young and he's dumb. You know, just give him some flack. It's fine. Move on. Anyway,
Absolutely.
date him in my book. He's a cute prince. Why not?
Any prince.
Yeah.
Come on
True.
now.
Any friends? I'll take it.
Kale. Therapy first. Then
Date later.
Then
Yep.
date. He definitely has some emotional unavailability wrapped
Yeah.
in. I feel like the way I put it is like wrapped in duty
Mhm.
is a pattern, and he needs to talk about like that's something he needs to work out.
Yeah.
Because he's putting everything and anything, all his feelings, absolutely everything. No, I have a duty. No, I have a duty. Okay,
Yeah.
cool, great, but you're also a human.
Right. It's
Like-
almost like nothing can exist outside of that identity.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And I think it's because he's not willing to let himself feel.
Yeah.
Like he's not willing to actually, because feeling and healing means going through more pain, and he wants to guard himself from any of it
Yeah.
because to him it's just a distraction.
Yeah.
Anything but doing his actual job is a distraction, which is so toxic.
Yeah, it is.
But-
And I don't remember if it's this book or the next one, but he gives a little bit of his background. Like he gave up being a lord, and he also left his mom and his younger brother in order to become the captain of the
reason.
guard. So like he feels like he gave up so much, and so like he doesn't want to risk it. So I understand that piece of it, but you're right. Like if you're going to be a well-rounded human, you have to have balance in different parts of your life, right? And he comes to terms with that the next book, but it's still only to a point. He's
Yes.
not willing to sacrifice the things he needs to just yet. So I agree with that. But I would put not date, but therapy for sure. At least in this book.
Yeah.
At least in this book.
That's why mine is maybe date later.
Yeah, maybe date later.
I see potential, and not in the I'll change him way.
Right. He just needs to grow as a character first.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And Nehemia. I love that you put she is the bestie, not a love interest.
Just to be clear,
Just so we're clear.
but
yes.
she deserves to be in everything. She's only
does.
in one book, so she deserves
One and a
to be in
half,
everything
but yes.
we talk about.
And it's amazing how much she's in the background of the rest of the series because she's so deeply connected to Selena's transformation.
And she's
so
the only one that treats Selena as a full human.
yeah,
She treats her as a whole. She treats her as her friend. She wants to teach her. She wants to learn from her.
right.
Like she's not just the assassin. She's not just the from a slave group. She's not just this that. She's actually a human.
She has her own mind. She has her own opinions. She has her own feelings. But she also knows who she is, so she has her own duty, and she's trying to push her to be that person. And she is the friend that we all need.
Absolutely.
And I love that you added the king to this list.
I just thought it'd be fun to add
I
him
laughed
in.
so hard when I read through this outline. I was like, absolutely 911 FBI. And he put an exorcist.
He banned magic.
You don't
in 1
understand that yet
second.
as the reader, why you need an exorcist, but you will.
And And then
Foreshadowing.
I added in for that too that he banned magic and runs death camps. We're not doing a verdict here. Like, there's no, you can't void this one.
You can't.
FBI Exorcist 911.
You need all of them.
And don't question
Together.
it, just do it.
Just do it. Okay. Trust us. Moving on because we don't want to give away too much. Especially if you haven't read past Crown of Midnight yet.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. And our favorite quotes. And I'll let you go first.
My heart. Okay. You could rattle the stars, she whispered. You could do anything if you only dared. And deep down, you know it too.
That's what scares you most. This is probably one of the most quoted quotes, but I love it and for good reason.
It's most quoted for a reason. Yeah. Like it just, not only does it connect you to the book and everything, but I feel like just that verbiage really does something and speaks to your soul at the depth of us because, I mean, maybe it's just me, but like when I hear something like that, it's like, how many things do we not do because we're not willing to dare?
Yeah.
Because we're not willing to be that
To
bold
try.
and
Yeah,
try and
absolutely.
do. And that just sums it up perfectly.
Yeah.
Like you could do anything if you actually applied,
tried.
if you actually dared to
And
be.
that's what scares you most. And I felt so seen when I read that too, which is why I didn't write it down because you already had it there. But in one of my notes I put on my Kindle, because you can highlight and then put notes.
Yes, yeah.
I felt really seen because growing up, I always felt like I could literally do anything, but I didn't want to try. I was too scared to, or I didn't have the ability or the opportunity, right? And so I was always good enough to make the team. And I knew I could be better if I wanted to be, but it's like, do I want to try? Do I want to risk it? Do I want to push that modem or that line?
And to try without it being perfect circumstances.
Right.
Because I think that's also what always stops us is we're not willing to fail.
Yeah.
And I mean, the perfect example is this podcast.
Right. Oh my gosh. Amen.
We tried. We failed. It was not a good setup.
Hence the relaunch.
And, yeah. And it's not a bad thing.
Right.
But it's actually a good thing because you actually tried something and you failed.
Right.
If somebody says they failed at something, I honestly think that's the best thing that you could have happen.
Yeah.
Because you learn from it.
Yeah.
Because now you're like, okay, like you want the best circumstances, you have to learn what the worst circumstances are to get there. And that's the only way to build and grow.
And I think specifically one of the reasons why I related to this quote is I didn't really think about it too much until later on in the series. And the reason is because one of the reasons why I think Selena is so moved by this quote, because this is from Nehemia, our favorite girl, or maybe it's Elena, I don't know, but I thought it was Selena or Nehemia. But
I think it is.
One of the reasons why Selena is so slow to commit herself to what this cause that comes later on down the road, this rebellion, is because she knows there's responsibility that she has to pick up. She has to pick up something that she put down. She has to become that princess that she was born to be. And she later on calls it shackles. Another form of shackles is being a princess, because you're born into this situation. You're given a situation you didn't ask for. You're given responsibility you don't want. And yet you have to live in it, right?
Absolutely.
And it's expected of you. And it's almost like she knows that.
Yeah.
She knows what she's capable of. She had her powers as a young girl. And yet she knows what she could do, but she doesn't want to. She doesn't want to be shackled to it. Yeah. And I think that's why I felt really connected to it, is because I've always felt like I've been born into these circumstances, but I didn't want them, right? But I had to walk in them, but I didn't want to. But it's almost like, if we know what we're capable of, why are we afraid to walk in it?
And I feel like when you're born into that type of situation, or are situations where you feel like you're shackled and born into something that you now have to deal with and get through, that when you have the opportunity of freedom, no matter if it's a different type of freedom, so her being an assassin, her being a king's champion, yes, it's different, but given the circumstance, it can still feel shackled because you haven't fully embraced if you haven't fully embraced the past, you can't ever unshackle from the future, from the now. Like you have to actually fully process that and heal and move forward. And she hasn't done that.
She hasn't done that yet.
She's
not willing to be called Aelin for even a couple books, even when she's admitted to who she is to Chaol. Yeah,
because that's a whole identity,
and she knows what it means.
Identity is just too much for her right now.
Right.
And I mean, in all honesty, if I were 18 and had been through the things she had been through,
I would be too.
If I could take on that identity,
and she has suppressed it for so long. It's been a decade, right? And she lost a family she deeply loved, and you don't know that till later. So like, I can understand why that would be so hard to pick up. I related to that very deeply for that reason. And so it's
I
almost like,
completely agree.
and that's why I really related to the second part of that quote too. Like, that's what scares you most. Like, you could do this, but you don't want to. And it's like, call me out. It's fine.
Right there with you.
Right.
Whenever I read that part, it's just like,
Mm.
okay.
Oh, right. Fine. Yeah.
I guess I should do those
And that's
things.
probably why it relates to so many people and why it's so well quoted. So
Absolutely.
anyway, you have the next one.
All right. The other one I think all of us as book lovers can relate to. Libraries were full of ideas, perhaps the most dangerous and powerful of all weapons. And
Amen.
it's just so true. I mean, they say knowledge is power, and where are you getting knowledge from? Books.
Books.
Not the internet.
Please don't trust the internet anymore.
But
Please.
I read that for the first time. I was like, yes.
Yes.
I just love it.
Mhm.
Heart it. Put it on
all
a
the
book.
things.
Embroider that. Put that on a pillow. Let's do it.
Put that on a pillow. It's gonna be the most quoted line from Jess. Put that on a pillow. I'm gonna bring that up.
Listen,
From
I
here
don't
on
know
out.
where half the stuff I say comes from, but here we are.
I'm here for it.
Thanks for listening.
Let's go. All
right. Your turn to give it a go.
Okay, mine are a little more sassy, but I loved them. So
Which is kind of ironic.
I know we're like opposite for what we usually are, but I think you got the two good ones. So I'm like, okay, I'll just pick the two that I really liked because they're sassy. So my first one is this is Selena talking to the weapons master. And she says, give me real men to fight, and then maybe I'll bother trying. And
Get 'em.
listen, I think I put in my notes, I said call Shania Twain because that makes me want to go kick down a door.
I love you. Yes.
Let's go, girls.
Absolutely.
But seriously, I loved this for her because as her character, she was asked to basically hold back from all these other assassins who happen to be boys and all that. But I love the fact that she's like, listen, if you want me to actually try, I will. Give me a real man to fight. Like,
I need a worthy opponent.
Right.
Or like, what do you want from me? 'Cause
right.
you're
I
not
just
getting
love that because it really shows who she is as a character. She's like, no, I am BA and I know it, but you're not giving me anything to actually try on. So, and it's funny because you hear that and you just think she's being cocky, and then you read Assassin's Blade and then Crown of Midnight as well, and you're like, oh no, she does know what she's doing.
Yep.
Never mind.
Like she has skill. She like this isn't a boast. This is actually facts.
This is fact. Yeah. All right. And then my next one is that conversation between Dorian and Selena, and
love their combos.
I know, me too. They have a few of them in this book that are really fun, and this is one of them. She's kind of making fun of Dorian because he's being very idealistic about wanting to marry for love. And she makes fun of him by saying, like, who are you to think in your situation? I didn't write this. This isn't part of the quote. I'm just paraphrasing here for a second so you understand the context. But she's basically saying, like, who are you as a prince to think you can marry for love? Like, a marriage is a contract, essentially. And then he goes, this is where the quote starts. You're being remarkably judgmental. And she says, what's the point in having a mind if you can't use it to make judgments? And I'm not going to lie. I felt so seen.
That is something you would say.
I would say it to a T.
Yes.
But I put in my notes, I was like, the way I felt so seen. Yes, queen. Tell it like it is. We love it. So here's the thing. I have always been the type of person who I will be very direct, and it sounds judgmental. But I don't mean it to be. Yeah. I'm just going to be honest and
we're
say,
both like that.
Yeah, we're both like that. Like, if I think you're being idealistic, I'll tell you, and that you need to be more realistic, right? And it's not that I don't care about you, but it's that I don't want you to like have your expectations here and then be disappointed, right? But I loved it because I'm like, yes, I feel this in my soul. You have a brain, use it.
Absolutely. So many people don't.
I know, but I felt really seen in that moment. So,
oh, I love that so much.
all right, and on to our next section: why we like this book / series.
Absolutely, it just sets up so much. It sets up so much more than it pays off. Like,
yeah.
And we already talked about it. We already hit on that, but you don't realize how much it's setting you up. You don't realize how much payoff you're actually going to get from reading this book. And it's so intentional.
Yeah.
And that's why it works.
Yeah, I agree. And I think Sarah J. Maas even said on an interview that there were parts when she actually got published with this book, because she originally wrote a lot of these stories about Selena on fan fiction sites and then eventually officially published for real later and rewrote some of this book intentionally, knowing where the story goes. And so a lot of it is intentional and it is slower. And so if you read ACOTAR and then you go to read Tog, know that it is slow, but for a reason. So just enjoy the story.
Absolutely.
But again, keep in the back of your mind these little mentions of magic because they become very, very important later.
Yes, it's barely explained in this book, but somehow that almost makes it more interesting, not less. And you hear the payoff
Later.
as you go on. You really pay attention to the magic, even though it's in the background.
Right.
It's there.
It's there,
for a
and
reason.
it's going to build.
Absolutely.
But
Another thing is that I love that Selena is so complicated. I feel like so often we've kind of touched on this too, but so often your main characters or even side characters, any character, any human, is in
any human.
She's laughing at me.
I love it. Anyway.
Is put in such a box.
Yes.
You are either intelligent or you are creative. You are either smart or you can do sports. You're never both.
Right.
And the world looks at you different if you are both. And so
Right.
that's what I appreciate about Selena, is because she's a heroine who is allowed to be complicated. She's vain, she's brilliant, she's grieving, she's funny, and she's terrifying.
Right.
All at once. It's just this whirlwind, and you think it sounds chaotic, but it's not.
It's not. Yeah.
And
It makes her more relatable as a character because she's more realistic.
exactly.
Right. And I think a lot of characters we read in Romantasy, they are very black and white because they are very idealistic, and not in a bad way. I understand there are a lot of stories that they have this motive. They really want to get across this message. They really want to get across. Respect it. I get it.
Yeah.
However, I would just appreciate characters like Selena who are more realistic, and the fact that we're not that idealistic, even if we want to be. There's more depth to that. There's more complication. And so I agreed with you with that note. I said, I love that she's complicated because she's realistic, but she cares about other people, but she doesn't want to. And that's relatable to someone like me, right?
I feel you.
Yeah. And because of what she's lost, like we talked about with Assassin's Blade, and she's scared of that responsibility, like we touched on as well, because that means more chains and so on and so forth. And so the complexity makes her more dynamic as a character, and so it even makes her character arc later on in the series more satisfying.
Oh yeah.
Because you see where she came from, and it's such a long journey there. So anyway.
No, I completely agree with that. And on top of that, one more thing on that is
Put a pin in it.
I also appreciate that, because I feel like in life, I'm a big apply your books to life girl. Okay, I can't help it. It's
I
just how
am
my
too.
brain works.
Yeah.
But what I really appreciate too is that so many times, in life, even as adults, people don't know how to hold grief and joy. You
Right.
don't know how to hold two emotions at once.
Right.
And it is
Preach.
difficult, or allow it to even happen. They
Right.
let one or the other consume them and refuse to allow
Space for
if you're
both.
grieving, you refuse to allow joy.
Yeah.
If you have joy, you cannot possibly grieve, or you have something wrong with you.
Mhm.
And so just her being able to encapsulate all
of
of
those
that,
things.
just I feel like it's such a good thing for people to see and
Yes.
to read, and to hopefully help them understand too that it can all exist at once, and that's
Right.
okay.
Yeah. And I think too, especially, it's so hard, I think, in a world that tells us positivity. You must always be positive. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think the intention behind it is pure.
Yeah.
But I think in a world where that's such a strong message sent to people in grief, it's hard.
taken to an extreme.
It is, because they don't let these people understand that you can hold space for both. You can choose to be positive during the day, even though your heart is so deeply hurt.
Exactly.
Both things can exist at the same time. You can choose to have joy and laugh at something even though your heart is hurting. Both those things can happen at the same time. It's a wave for a reason. But I think people who haven't experienced that depth like Selena has in this story, it's hard to understand it. So I think we need more
100%.
characters like her to have pure examples of that.
Exactly.
Because we need to understand that you need to be able to hold both, because that makes you more rounded as a person.
Exactly.
It makes you more healthy as a person.
And I think then it also helps you, coming from someone that's experienced a lot of grief, I understand this. I
Right.
understand that both have to exist.
Yes.
However, a lot of people haven't.
Right.
And I'm glad for you. Unfortunately, it's life, so it will come eventually.
Right.
And
in different forms.
if you aren't willing to at least understand or learn about it, at least, before it happens, that's why it takes over.
Yeah.
And so this book just does a really good job of showing you
Exemplifying
what happens during it and how we can have all of these things going on at once and it's okay, rather than just, oh, my family died, I give up on everything.
Right.
You know, and that's an extreme, and that's a hard statement, but
Right.
it's true.
It's true.
And she was able to overcome it for a reason, because she decided to turn, like the quote from Assassin's Blade that I chose, like she chose to turn that pain into something
Something else.
instead of allowing it to become hate
Fester.
or anything of that
And I
nature,
think
so.
too, it does it again. This is going to get more into the weeds and of that specific topic, I think, later in the series, because all of this grief comes to a point later in the series where she has to deal with it, because she does suppress some of it and she lets it be exemplified in other ways.
Yes.
It's almost like it's like compartmentalizing, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Which can sometimes be helpful and sometimes be hurtful. And I think this is a really good example of that. You're right. I think as a society, it's uncomfortable to see people go through grief when we don't understand it. And so we
Yes.
want to put it in a box to understand it. And while that makes sense, I think we need, when we see people like Selena, characters like Selena, because there are people like that in real life,
100%.
it helps us have more grace. It helps us have more hold space for them and respect them, because I think
Absolutely.
it's not my job to tell someone what they're going through, but it is my job as their friends like Nehemia to be there and listen and to talk
Yep.
to them and encourage them. Right.
And to help them if they get to a point that it's like, okay,
you need to
let
grow.
people in,
Mm-hmm.
type of deal. And I think some
Those
of
are
the
people we
characters-
love.
Yeah.
Just so we're clear.
Yes, exactly. Good point. But it's, yeah, like, I mean, as you see, like in her growth throughout the book too, you see the other characters do that. You see it a little bit in these too, of like the forcing upon her.
Right.
And I think that's also a good thing to show in grief. And because there's a difference between forcing yourself upon somebody in an unhealthy way and forcing yourself upon them just to exist. Just to exist and be there if they decide they need you.
Right.
And this book does a good job of showing that. Okay, I'll stop talking about grief.
And then you also talked about the magic system and how it's kind of explained, which we touched on. And you also talked about how you don't realize till Crown of Midnight that you're being prepared for something bigger, which also relates to the magic system. And I also agreed with that. Yeah. Okay, moving on to Crown of Midnight.
Wow, wow, wow. All right. So in The Crown of Midnight, this is the plot summary. She is now the king's champion. And so basically what she's having to do as the king's champion is, he says, I want them dead. She says, okay.
Yep.
And
By what date?
Exactly. And what's crazy, this is a spoiler alert. but
Spoiler
I'm gonna
alert.
say it. Is he wants the head of him.
Uh-huh.
Like he wants proof, and I get the proof thing, but the head.
Mm-hmm.
What the head? Sir?
I know. And she usually takes it one step further. And like the first scene is her bringing in a head and a hand.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Selena.
She's an overachiever.
Clearly.
Yeah. But so she's not. But what's interesting is, and you don't know this till like later on, which makes it even wilder.
I know.
Is like, how are you bringing the head and everything? So clearly he's not looking very closely because she's not bringing them.
I know.
Like she's
Killing. She's not even killing other people. She's taking corpses from sick houses and then saying it's somebody else and letting the other people go free, which is wild because she has. And when I was reading this for the first time, I was like, oh, does that mean she's never actually killed anybody before? No, that's not the case. She's just choosing not to kill for the king because she doesn't trust his judgment. And just so we're clear.
And a lot of the people, I think, if I remember correctly, that some of these people she's had relationships with, like in the past, as a princess, and so like she's a one-woman witness protection program, and we love to see it.
She's like, you can go flee, but never talk to anybody ever again. Okay, bye.
Exactly. And then like with that, she's sent to the Phalanx alone in this book, so that's where this kind of the book ends with that, and it really opens up yet another whole new world and whole new side of her. Sing it.
I can't sing, but there you go. You're welcome.
You can sing. You just did.
Thanks.
But
I love
the
it.
magic system also comes out a lot more. And this, you go full conspiracy mode, man.
Yep.
And then we get our favorite twist.
Oh my gosh.
Dorian gets his magic too.
Yes, he
Like,
does.
It's not just it's not just her anymore. Like he has magic, which he doesn't know what to do with.
He doesn't.
Shockingly, if I just randomly started spouting out things from my hands, I'd be a little
especially
confused
when
too.
magic is supposed to still be gone. Like this is the last book that well, not really the last book, kind of the last book, where we don't really see a lot of magic yet. And so him having magic is a big deal because they're not supposed to have it yet in this world.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so it's interesting because he knows, like, not only am I a prince to a king who hates magic, but I have a lot of it and it's raw magic, which means you can do anything you want with it. And I love that detail that she threw in there. It's like only Aelin noticed that at first. It was like, oh no, this is raw magic. You can do whatever you want with it. I'm like, first of all, how do you know that? Which is what kind of led me to the assumption she was Aelin when she's brought in later on. I assumed that early on.
It. She knows what
she's talking about. And so I loved that. And I love that he can use that magic however he wants to, which you see more of that later in the series, but that's just such a fun detail. So anyway.
I completely agree. And then our character, Nehemia. I always say it wrong.
She
dies.
dies.
Get for reading and not listening.
Yeah.
She dies in this one. But what's interesting with that too is it really brings more of the plot to you because you see that it's the king who did it. And so you start really seeing, like, you already know the king's a little iffy.
Right.
But you see that and see that he's willing to kill to send Selena a message. And you're like,
okay.
Let's pivot.
Yes.
So
I think
there's
my
just so
favorite
much.
part, though, in that is that it really, the way that it takes Selena and completely transforms her character the second half of the book. Like the anger and the rage that comes from her and the way she splits on Chaol in that scene. And I think I even texted you about this when I read this scene because I was like, it feels like she's a completely different person.
Yeah.
Like she literally completely switched to
Almost
flip.
bipolar, but not.
But not, yeah. And part of me when I was reading this for the first time is like, does she like turn into an animal? Is she like a completely different? Because in my head, I was like, is she Fae? And she's gonna like devour this human being because of her rage and her grief. But almost. She's Fae, but like not Fae. So anyway,
Demi-Fae.
Demi-Fae.
Yeah,
with a lot of power. But anyway,
small details.
And
then also in this one, like you actually get the big reveal that she's Aelin.
That she's Aelin.
And
one of my favorite parts too is towards the end of this book where she goes into a portal. Again, Lisa, spoilers for the end of this book. You signed up for that. But anyway. But the fact that Chaol sees her transform into her Fae form. And that was such a big reveal to me because, like, okay, clearly she's this lost princess. It was in my head canon before even the end of the book at this point. But then she goes into this portal and she completely changes into Fae. And I was like, what? I didn't realize you were going to, like, I knew you were going to have powers. I didn't know you were going to be Fae. Like, that's wild because you're introduced to Dorian who has magic. So I'm like, oh, maybe humans can just have magic. And she has a lot of it. She's going to be like the chosen one.
Wait, you're a species.
Right. What? That was a big surprise to me. I'm not going to lie. That was really cool.
Totally valid.
But and that scene was really well written. The way that she talks about her slowly transforming as she's going towards this monster to kill it. And I was like, oh, I can picture this perfectly in my brain. Anyway, so
it's like you were there.
It's like I was there. Yeah. So continue. Sorry, I just had to add that in there.
Oh no, you're good. That is all I had for the plot summary.
Yes, and then she's sent off to the Fae lands at the end of the book.
Yes,
which is wild.
So our general main character breakdown. Naturally, we have Selene / Aelin. Never did you think that before. The name reveal really isn't. It's not just a plot twist, but it's a character moment. It's her really hitting that wall and being like, you know what? All right, Selena is my mask, but this is who I am. And it changes everything for the book. And I still remember I was that person. As I was reading this book, I was like, you know what? I want to see some spoilers. So I may or may not have looked up some and I didn't look up like what happened or anything. I was I don't remember what I exactly searched, but I searched something. And it started talking about and it was before I knew she was Aline, and it started talking about how Aline was great and like you'll get it when you get it, like type of deal. And I'm like, who's Aline? Who's Rowan? Like, who are these people?
Right.
What do you mean?
Right.
What do you mean I'm going to want him to be her guy instead of Dorian? Like,
right.
Get out of here. Yeah, there's so many things.
Just you wait. But yeah, the Selena Aelin reveal was so well done because she didn't just out loud say like, I am Aelin Galathinius. Like she just tells Chaol a date and Kale has to kind of go on this like scavenger hunt, the last page or chapter of the
Have fun,
book.
Kale.
Really though, and
It
he's
is.
already like heartbroken because he knows he's never gonna have her again as his own.
Can
And
you imagine
Yeah.
going on a scavenger hunt for somebody who
just broke your heart?
broke your heart?
You
and
literally
is
just told him you love them, and she's like, "Thanks, but like, bye."
yeah. And so she's gonna pick someone else, but you're still like laying your life down to go on this random scavenger.
Right, to know who she is, to know,
I don't
to
know if I could
understand
do
what
that.
that date means, and it's wild because it's from his perspective that he's like, she wasn't just in league with Aelin Galathynius, she was Aelin Galathynius.
Yeah.
And it's just this huge moment that I think if I hadn't already suspected, it would have hit harder. But it was just such a cool way to reveal it because I would have expected her to be like, yeah, I'm Aelin. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think the reason it's not is because she still isn't fully sure she wants to walk into it yet, but she
Yes.
knows she has to.
I
Like, does that make
completely agree.
sense?
Absolutely.
Because when you walk through Air Fire, which we'll get to next episode, but like she really is struggling with that identity. Like she knows she has to, but she doesn't want to yet.
Absolutely.
So it's like her like first steps, little toddler walking, if you will, of like, I have to be called this, but I don't know how to do it quite just yet.
Gotta
It's
figure
been
it
10
out.
years.
yeah, exactly. And I think it's really lovely about this book too, in her character reveal, is you really see how she's protecting everyone quietly, while
that's
everyone
good.
else around her is like, she's just doing all this for her own good. Like she's
Right.
just pushing me out, and it's like, actually, in her mind, she's doing all
All
this
of
to
it.
protect you.
Mhm.
Like you have no idea the burden on her shoulders right now,
'Cause
and
she
you're
hasn't
just-
shared anything.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and it's not at a fault to you because she hasn't told you.
right.
But at the same time, it's like, oh, if you only knew.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree. And her character gets so much more depth in this book, and it builds. And the second read, it was like, oh my gosh, there's a hint, there's a hint, there's a hint, there's a hint,
Yes.
not only for who she is, but her backstory. And so it's almost like more emotionally damaging, which we'll get to next. But
I love it.
which is really sad and devastating because it does take that death of her best friend in order to catalyst that. But yeah, so I loved that. It was sad but heartbreaking, but good all at the same time. Sarah J. Maas, you are a mastermind at breaking my heart. Thank you very much.
Oh, if we could just assign titles to this world, that
Uh-huh.
would be her title.
That would be her title. I agree.
All right, good old kale, like a kale salad.
Like a kale salad. We love and hate you in this book. Just kidding.
Are you?
Not really.
Yeah. So in this one, his character in this one, anyways, he chose his loyalty to the king over telling her the truth. Even though he genuinely thought she was protecting him, he was protecting her.
Yeah.
But he wasn't, and it goes back to that whole duty thing. And
Yep.
sir.
And I think in the moment, because when you read it, you feel like it's like this last minute call, last minute decision.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
But it wasn't, because he had suspicions prior to that. And I don't think I realized that till like my second read of the book of like, no, you had prior assumptions here.
Absolutely.
You saw things, you chose to look the other way. And that's kind of what makes it more emotionally damaging for Selena.
Oh, I completely agree. And I'm not saying he's a villain in
No.
it either. But what we are saying is that stating something like, I was just protecting you at the end of it, like of something going on, it's not an excuse.
It's not an excuse.
When someone else had to pay the price. Like,
Right. It's
especially.
cost somebody's life, and not just
Yes.
somebody, it was her best friend.
Exactly.
Someone that he knew she cared very deeply for, has even commended her for that.
Yes.
Right. And so,
Yeah.
and I put off of that note was, yes, the way that this was a true beginning of his own character journey is also kind of sad because it's necessary, but to watch him have to go through his own heartbreak because he is devastated of the decision that he made, but he's not willing to own up to it yet.
But it's partly because he's devastated because he wants her. He wants a reality with her. He wants a life with her. It's just completely different versions.
Yes, they both have completely different ideas of who each other are and what they both want.
Yes.
Which should have been their first signs of like, we're
Oh,
not
yeah.
meant to be together, but you know.
And I mean, frankly, I'm kind of skipping around here, but like Dorian does too. She
Yes, he
has her
does.
own. She has her own life. Dorian has a life for her. Kale has a life for her. They are all so different.
So different.
But they all have these different realities, and I just think it's so intriguing.
It is, because the dynamics are so much more complicated. And that's what I think Sarah J. Maas does so well in this series, is that she allows the characters to make bad decisions. She allows their relationship dynamics to be messy. Like, I love that she doesn't meet her like love
Love of her
life,
Yeah.
book 1. Sorry, that's a spoiler alert. But like, I love that she is letting them
Who
make
knows?
like these hard decisions and complicated relationships and messing up, and they have this, they need to grow, because I just think, again, it's more realistic, it's more fun to read that way. And so again, I'm sorry you're not going to get your ACOTAR book 2 romance for a while, but it makes it more fun to read that way. This is definitely more plot forward,
And I mean,
but in a good way.
the whole time you're also kind of guessing, like,
Yeah.
but will she go back to Kale? Will
Right.
she go to Dorian?
Yeah, because
Who
there's a
will it
moment with
be?
Dorian, which is the next character, which I'll
Yeah.
let you read in a second. But she has this moment where it's like, I'll come back for you. And my heart, who loves Dorian, was like, yes, please let you be Endgame. Please let you be Endgame. Oh, I
Caitlin
love
is
you,
a-
Dorian.
Oh,
I am a Dorian fan, okay?
Caitlin is a hardcore Dorian fan.
Hardcore Dorian
Even
fan.
at the end.
Even at the end of the series. I'm sorry.
We fight on that one a little bit.
We do.
Is he great? Yeah.
We'll
but
talk about it when we get there.
maybe if we can.
We can. Our friendship can make it, I promise.
We've been through worse.
We have been through worse. Talk about it another day. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's not. At least on air.
Yeah, we can talk about it off air. It's fine.
We are kidding, to be clear.
Yes.
We are all good, happy.
That's the reason why we can joke about it.
Exactly.
The next character is Dorian.
Dorian. He finds his magic in this one, which, as we kind of touched about, is punishable by death. Like, not only does it not exist, it's punishable by death.
Beheading.
And
To
how
be
ironic that
specific.
it was given by his father.
I know.
Of that. And he completely hides it and is completely alone, which is honestly quietly the bravest thing
Yeah.
in this book. Because
My heart breaks for him in this book.
Oh,
It really does.
absolutely. And then on top of that, like, he lets Selena go and he doesn't try to hold on. He doesn't make it about him. And for him alone, that's growth, because he went from being this prince that had no experience, that it's all about him, to being
Center of
like,
attention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to
Get
take-
everything I want.
exactly, to taking a step back and being like, I need to grow as a character. Like, I need to grow myself as a human. And because of that, like, it means me not being first. And
Right.
I'm gonna, I care about you enough to put you first. And he does it. And also, I think it's intriguing, and it says a lot that when this happened, like, he already didn't have the relationship with his father as a
Right.
father. He had it as a king.
Right.
And that's also why he didn't even feel like he could tell him.
Tell him. Yeah. Well, and because he sees the man that he's become and knows that he can't trust his judgment.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think with Dorian, really, I didn't put any notes here, but it broke my heart to see him, like you said, walk through this alone. Like, he's going through this life-changing experience, knowing that politically it means death, but he can't control it. It's not like it's something he can just turn on and off, right? And so I couldn't imagine. I was
and he
really
doesn't even know how to turn it on or off
right,
yet.
exactly. He has zero control. It just showed up one day. And so it's really, really cool and sad to see that he's like, no, I let Selena go and I love KO. I need to let him have this chance with her because they clearly have feelings for each other. It is my job to handle this as much as I can. And he almost reaches out to each one of them, even Nehemia. And yet he has no one to go to because he can't find them when he needs them. And so there was a little part of me that's like, oh, Dorian, I'm so sorry that you have to go through this alone.
Oh yeah.
I'll
be there for
I'll be there for you. No, but like it was cool to see, like you said, the character development there start to begin, because it just goes more down the road. But it was cool to see that he's like, no, I need to put others first, and this needs to be on the back burner.
It's a dark
even though
arc,
it's
but
such
it's a good arc.
big thing. Yeah. And
Absolutely.
next is Nehemia.
That's all you. She's yours.
I love Nehemia. Okay, so this is her last book. Sorry, boys and girls, but she dies, and so
She deserved so much more.
she did, but she knew she might die, and she chose it anyway. She trusted Selena to finish what she started, and that's something that I feel like on a second read hits more. I put as a note here that also the way that the chapter between her and Elena, when she's talking about her having to choose to die, which you don't realize that until later on, that when she actually dies, that's what they're talking about. But it felt like a betrayal on the second read, even though it was for Selena / Aelin's own growth. It was just incredible writing, because on the second read, you're like, oh my gosh, this is what that meant.
Yeah.
She's saying, I need to catalyst her because she won't change otherwise. And Aelin knew that, and Elena knew that. And so, or not Aelin, Nehemia knew that, and Elena knew that. And I just can't imagine being Nehemia, knowing like, I'm going to give my life and this is the best gift I could ever give you. But Aelin's like, no, this is the worst thing you could have ever done for me. Right. Like the complete opposite of what she wanted, but she would not have chosen to become Aelin otherwise.
Oh, absolutely not.
And on a second read, like, again, it's just like a knife in the twist. Sorry. I hate a best friend death. It makes me cry every time. I didn't cry the second time, but the first time I teared up. For sure. Just because of her immediate reaction, Selena just completely flips a switch. Completely different person.
100%.
So.
And her letter, like, it explains everything, but it's almost worse knowing than not knowing.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
And I mean, that's great writing on her part and Sarah's, but Lord help me, I hated it.
I hated it.
I did not want to know that.
If you get emotionally attached to characters, especially side characters like I do, because I always love the side characters more usually. This was the one series where Aelin / Selena I loved the most, so it was rare for me. But Nehemia was a close second, those first two books. And so just watch her die, it was terrible.
I agree.
Brings us to the emotional damage scale.
What a great transition words. Oh, they're hard sometimes.
Yes, they are.
So for me, this book was a 10 out of 10. The book committed crimes against my emotions. I mean, Nehemia's death alone was a 10, but another scene where my heart hurt. It just ripped it out and stabbed it and put it back and ripped it again.
Yeah.
Was when Selena went after Chaol
Afterwards,
and the grief in that scene is so raw and unfiltered that it doesn't even feel like fiction.
Right.
And when you've experienced grief like that and been in a moment of like people are saying things that they don't mean because it's all the grief coming out, like, you know how raw
right.
it
You know how it
can
feels.
be.
Yeah.
Because when grief hits and you're to the point of that unfilteredness, like it is raw.
Yeah.
There's no going back from what is said, but there's so much with that
it's
that
good.
I could
I
say.
agree.
But that scene alone, like, my heart just, there's no more word. I have so many words and none
But
on
at the
that
same time.
because it rips the words
No,
right
I
out of you.
100% agree. The second that I read, because in that scene, Selena sees the scene of Nehemia's body mutilated, blood everywhere, and then she turns to Chaol and tackles him and is trying to kill him. But when she says the words, "You will always be my enemy," and the fact that literally pages before, like not even like chapters, pages before, she was saying how much she thinks she's in love with this man, and now she's about to literally kill him. She can't hold back her anger and her rage because she knows that he was a part of this, even if indirectly, because he is the captain of the guard. It was like, I can't imagine like the way that it catalysts her character as well as Chaol's in that moment. Again, super well written, because again, the next chapter it talks about from his perspective about how he knows he's lost her for good. Like, he wants her and he knows what he did was wrong, but that's what starts this doubting of the king, because he knows the king's involved somehow. And like, so again, it starts his own character catalyst and this identity crisis for him, because his identity's caught up in his work. But it also, like, the way that it's so real character dynamic wise in terms of relationships, like what I related to is the fact of this, and maybe this says too much about me, I don't know, but like the way that I related to the hatred and the tension between them, because it's something that's irreparable, right? Eventually, hopefully, maybe down the road in the series, we'll see resolution between them. We'll see. But the fact that it's such a deep divide because it comes from death of a friend.
Yes.
Like, does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely.
I related a little bit too much to that raw emotion of this tension of like, I could never forgive you. Right. And even if you've never experienced that kind of grief in terms of like relationship depth, not just someone betraying you, but someone you loved purposely and intentionally withholding things from you.
Absolutely.
There's depth there that it's almost irreparable. So I loved that and hated that on the same time. So yes, my emotional damage scale is also a 10. A little too relatable.
You know, it's a book you should read when it's a 10 out of 10 emotion.
Right.
Emotional
Trauma
damage.
pond.
We love
Anyway,
a trauma bond.
We love a trauma bond.
Speaking of, date 'em, therapy, or
call
911. So Aline, now that we're
I love that we
here,
keep adding her to this list.
always there's different books. She has different opinions.
That's true.
And,
That's true.
And it's just like a person, okay? It's just like in real life.
It's like they're
maybe,
people.
Maybe me at 18, maybe not date me yet.
Right.
Maybe I have some trauma to get through.
Yeah.
Maybe me at 28, Lord help me, where's my man? Like, we've done the healing. I've done
the
this.
healing.
Like,
Let's
I am
go.
10 out of 10 dateable.
I love
at
that you said
point.
support her, not date her.
Yeah. And I think Aline understands. Aline is the same. She needed some therapy. She had things she needed to work through.
Yeah.
Depending on where she was in the book and at different parts of the book, totally dateable.
That's true.
Other parts, therapy.
Yeah, therapy. The
When
post
she's-
Nehemia scene therapy.
When she's attacking Kale, maybe call 911.
Right.
But
And grave, but
it's fine.
he deserved to die. I get it. I'm just saying.
Did he?
Probably still needs therapy.
He didn't deserve to die. He just didn't do what he probably should have done.
I stand by what I said.
He did what he thought was best.
Yeah, sure. For money.
Yeah. Listen.
It said that he was happy to
agree.
do it in his perspective. So I would just say, you know what?
Yeah,
I don't feel bad.
that's valid. I tried to save for him, but I can't.
You can't.
Anyways,
all right.
yeah, support her, not date her in this one. She's lost everything and is being sent away alone. She needs a spa day, not a love interest.
Yep.
So that's for that one. I'm gonna have you speak on Kale since he's your favorite.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So what I will say is that I loved Jess's notes on here. So I'm going to read hers. She gives him a yellow flag upgraded to an orange flag. And here's why I totally agree. Because he already had some issues with his identity being solely around his work and his purpose.
Yes.
And then he goes and, like you said earlier, commits to the king and agrees to withhold information from her, which upgrades to an orange. Because we already know that you probably shouldn't. He's already suspecting issues with the king and his decisions. And
Yeah.
yet he still doesn't say anything.
He's still just holding on to his duty.
Yep. And then the best part is when she says, good intentions, genuinely bad execution. Needs to sit with that.
That's why he's an orange
10 out of 10
flag.
agree, no notes.
So glad. I love seeing your reactions to what I've written.
Jess is the funny one. That's why I laugh so much at her notes,
No.
because they're just so good. And most of the time I don't have anything to add. So there you go.
Get out of here. You're a funny one too. All right. She's over here crying, actually. It's kind of funny.
I cry when I laugh really hard. So
It's true.
sorry.
We do
if
a
we
lot of
ever end up
crying
on
together.
YouTube, you'll see a lot of that. I just can't
Yeah.
wear makeup those days.
That's like any day together, though.
I know, it's true.
We're always like
why
this.
did I wear makeup today? I don't know.
All right. So Dorian, he's
Mhm.
rising in the ranks. We're dating him. He doesn't need therapy now.
Look at him go.
He's going through things. He's growing in real time, and I respect it.
She's like, he's climbing the ranks of my boyfriend list. He's pretty low right now, but he's climbing the ranks.
I didn't say he was low. It's like mid. He's mid
Okay, that's
going up.
respectable. That's respectable.
Yeah, because he already showed some growth.
Yeah.
He's truly growing. He's putting others first.
Yep.
He's just Dorian.
Precious boy. I
Yeah.
love Dorian.
Precious boy.
Precious boy.
All right.
The fact that you still had a name to this list, is it because she's only in 2 books? She has to beat everyone.
Yes. Okay. Leave me be.
No, I'm here for it. I love it. She's the best one. I agree. No notes. Gone too soon. Still carrying this loss. Not accepting it.
Why am I
Honestly,
like this?
same. No, but seriously, Nehemia shows so much of what best friends should be. Like, she is willing to put herself on the chopping block. Literally, is that too soon? I don't know, but for her
always
best
too
friend.
soon. Always too soon when it
Always
comes
too
to her.
soon.
Okay.
So yeah, I would definitely say date her, but you can't because sorry, she's gone.
Oh gosh.
All right, and favorite quotes.
Favorite quotes. How about you take the first one?
I love this one. So this is one that's quoted quite a lot, and for good reason. Like I said, this is the biggest reveal of these first two books, and that is when she is revealed as Aelin, and it's quoted as this: "She was Aelin Ashriver Galathinius, and she was the heir of fire." And I love this because "Heir of Fire" is the title of the next book, and it's used a few times in that book for a good reason. And if you read the next book, you'll realize why. So I will not give spoilers for that. But I love that. I love that it connected the two books, and when this is revealed again, it's from Chaol's POV, which I just thought was brilliant because Aelin isn't ready to identify herself as Aelin yet. But she wants someone else to know her identity and know why she's making the decisions that she's making and why she does the things that she does. And the fact that she lets Chaol figure that out when she doesn't even fully trust him, I thought was actually really respectable for her because she's choosing to trust him even though she doesn't want to. That's a little bit of growth, I think, towards the end of that book.
I would agree with that.
But my favorite part is the notes that Jess had here. And she said, wait, this whole series just shifted. The sentence changed the air in the room and I felt it.
I'm a little
Can you tell that she's dramatic?
Okay?
And I love it.
Let me add some depth and drama.
Oh, so good.
Depth,
all right.
not
You can
depth.
do the next one.
All right. You were my enemy the moment you chose to serve the king. Celine says that to Chaol. And when she says that, it's just a oof. It's a like sit in silence for a second, a moment in my book.
Yeah.
Because she finally said the thing that we're all thinking.
Yep.
She finally said the thing that nobody wants to say.
Right.
And I love people that'll say the things that nobody
I'll
wants to say.
yep, me too.
And
It's
I'm
like, we're
like-
thinking it. Might as well say it aloud.
Exactly. And we're both like that, which is
We are.
dangerous for other people, but great for us.
Great for us.
So I just appreciated that quote. I appreciated that she did that. And I feel like it shows her and her growth too, of like the fact that she's willing to do what needs to be done and say what needs to be said and move on.
Right. That's good.
Which kind of leads into why do we like this book and series?
Yes.
Crown of Midnight is just a book that the whole series becomes what it actually is. Everything else before was a setup.
Yes.
For it, and that's what we meant by it can be like slow going in, but like get you through that slow part and you'll see the world beyond.
Yeah. And I remember it was so funny when I was rereading Crown of Midnight. I was like, oh, that happens in this book. Oh, that happens in this book. Like there's so much that happens in this book that you don't remember because it is such a setup for the rest of the series.
And you think it happened in like book 5. And you're
Right.
like,
wait.
it was only 3?
Right. Yep. I agree.
I feel like I'm always going back to grief. What's that say about me?
That you've had a lot of growth. She laughs.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Oh, Loyanta. Sarah J. Maas, like, I just have to say it again. Like, she writes grief better than almost anyone, and probably anyone that I've actually read their books of
Yes.
so far. Like, she doesn't rush it. She doesn't pretty it up. She lets it be messy, and that's okay.
Right.
And I just, something about that I adore.
Yeah, I wrote off of that. I think that I love that, again, she lets them be messy and she lets those messy parts of the relationships and the plot line and everything that happens to them, she lets it change the character. Even if she didn't expect it to. And I think she talked about that again in that Call Her Daddy podcast.
Yeah.
But I love that because I think sometimes in writing, it's so tempting for the author to be like, okay, yes, this happened and it's unfortunate, but you grieve and you move on and you keep these certain pieces of your character because you can.
You compartmentalize it.
Yeah, because you can as an author. But I think it's more realistic and character development to be like, no, this would dramatically change this about a person.
And it continues.
And they have to learn to deal with it throughout the rest of the series. And so I really love, and I put in here such good writing in all caps because it's so true. Like,
it is.
When something happens it's very traumatic for a character, they're not just going to go back and be wholly idealistic like they were before. Or in Aelin's sense, she's not going to just go back and be the Selena that she was.
And it's not just going to change at the end of the chapter.
No, it will not. And so I love that she does such a good job of bringing that back page after page. And I think for a reader's perspective, again, if you've never experienced grief or trauma to that level, it may be hard to understand, but like it is moment after moment. It is process after process. It is day after day. And so I love that she doesn't make it, annoying in a way, but like she makes it realistic and lets that play out on the page as it should. And that's even more, I think, kudos to her as a writer with the rest of the series and where she takes Aelin's arc because it's just thing after thing after thing. So Such good
agree.
writing. I love you, Sarah J. Maas.
We love it. And the identity reveal is just one of the best that I've read, that it's just like, oh, so that's what this is.
Right.
Kind of moments in fantasy. And I just appreciated that.
Yeah.
And I know someone's a little bit proud over there. I see it in her eyes. How about you just say what you wrote there?
I was very proud of myself, okay, for seeing that coming, that she is Aelin. I think
you should be. She started texting me so like mid book or
Yeah.
something like that on it, and I'm just over there like, gosh dang it,
Gosh,
Caitlin.
Caitlin.
Like, just let it happen.
Just let it happen.
But I mean, part of me was like, yeah,
you got it. Keep going.
you got it, go.
It's so hard too, because I love surprises, but like when I read a lot of fantasy, it's hard to not pick up on things.
It is.
And so like I need to refresh some of the genres that I read so that way I can be surprised more often.
Nah.
But I
keep
just
being
I
like
love
this.
fantasy so much because you get pulled into a completely different world. So
Oh.
and Sarah J. Maas says that really well too.
Absolutely.
But yes, I was very proud of seeing that coming. So thank you very much, because
you
I
should
didn't
be.
even like look up any like spoilers or anything. So I was
Wow,
proud
I
of
feel
myself.
Called out. Man.
Didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
She just said, unlike some people. All right. On that note, if
Yep.
you're not hooked after this book, I genuinely do not know what to tell you. This is where it all begins.
Mm-hmm.
And with Heir of Fire being next, Aline going to the Feylands, everything's
Yep.
getting bigger. Maybe better, maybe worse.
We'll
Who
see.
knows? We're
The
not
conflict
prepared.
definitely gets more complicated.
Absolutely.
And what I love about next book is that the world expands because you go to the Feylands. The conflict gets more complex, and then you also get more characters. So I'm excited to talk about that with next episode.
It'll be
But-
so good. We're not prepared, but we're going to go anyways. Okay?
Right. Okay. Because Heir of Fire is probably one of my favorite books. Going through this reread, it's one of my top favorite of this series. So
Love it.
love it.
Well, we love it. We love you. We hope to see you next time.
Yes, be sure to follow us on social media and be sure to like and subscribe to this podcast. But thank you so much for listening to us. And if you enjoyed our creative and somewhat fun banter, be sure to hit the subscribe button to follow along.
Somewhat fun. We're the best.
We're the best.
Best banter.
Best banter. But this has been Books, Brews, and Banter. I'm Kate.
I'm Jess.
And we'll see you next time.
Toodaloo.